Eloise is going to show everybody how to swim today.
No, God no, I'm going to sink. How to sink. How to sink
Bought a
effectively.
GoPro.
Yeah,
in case this is the last moments of her life, so she can say goodbye message to her mum as she's drowning.
I love you, Mum. I love you. I love you.
You got anything else to say? Maybe to your boyfriend?
Thanks for the car. The keys under
Yeah, the
the
car's
wheel.
nice. I'll have the car. If she dies, I'm having it.
So, welcome back to my channel. I thought it's about time to do a swim update. Pools in the UK have been open for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I feel like we're all in the same boat, quite literally. So, might as well just sort of give you an update where I'm at, a few tips and tricks that I've sort of mentally had to embrace over the last few weeks, and where we're going from here. So, where am I at? I've had, I think it's around 11 swims. I was able to get into a few Lidos from the 1st of April, and I think I've done around 26,000 meters, which that's like some people's week swim, right? But we've sort of, me and my coach Mark, we decided to go in a bit more little and often and really sort of find that flow again. The first few swims, I have to admit, are much better than I expected. I haven't done much band work over the last lockdown. I've been doing more sort of shoulder mobility and I guess strength work, for the fact that when I broke my collarbone, the few operations I had it on and the scapula, it's all very weak. I still can't do a full press up. Oh well, my physio laughs at me too, so that's allowed. But we're getting there. So we sort of went in much better than I thought. And then after about the sort of, I could probably say the 8th swim or something, that's when I started getting super tired, like arms, my back, biceps. I didn't know you swim with your biceps, but apparently I do. Really, really tired. And it's sort of now going back through, sort of go back into that mobility and that getting that flexibility and movement back in. I guess the biggest thing that I've taken into these last 3 weeks is I'm not going to look at a clock for a while. I think we're so easy to compare to our old PBs, how we used to swim, and having not really been in the pool properly for over 6 months, I was like, I just need to focus on that stroke and have that ability to not get competitive and not beat myself up about it. The fact that I'm 5 seconds per 100 or something down on what I used to be able to easily do, you know, all this mental bleh. You don't need that negativity in life. I don't need that negativity in life. So one big tip I'd say is really, it's okay to step away and almost think of it like a bit like a pre-injury PB, almost like a pre-COVID PB, and then let yourself work back there. And so tip number 2, little and often. Why? Because you don't want to, especially for me, is I get to a point where actually now it's not sort of a gradual decrease in sort of effort and tiredness. It's actually now it's just drop off. I sort of have it and then I don't. And it's probably because of the conditioning and lack of muscular endurance, which is definitely not there, but it also means the form suddenly collapses. It's not sort of a gradual progression you can hang on. It's almost like it's there and then it's not. So by doing it sort of little and often, you can sort of progress to a point and then make sure you stop before that collapse, and then you get the adaptation. You obviously need a bit of fatigue to get that adaptation, and then you start again. So you keep reinforcing this strength and keep reinforcing this good technique, and make sure that you are doing it right from the start, and making sure that you're efficiently training, not just smashing around for no reason. You can get fit on the bikes, you don't need to smash around the pool for no reason. And this brings me on to tip number 3 of sort of be ready to adapt. As I said, in the 100 meters, you need to maybe take that step back, or you suddenly feel all over the place, or you can't hold any pace whatsoever. Then make sure you take a breath and stop, and maybe do a bit of drills that help you. Like, for example, doggy pad and skull really suit me because it's sort of that front of the catch and I drop quite a lot. So it's sort of keeping over that. And like I said to a few athletes that I coach, is taking that step now to sort of reset and really sort of get into that good form again, especially if you are not a born swimmer in terms of you haven't swum your whole life, is just resetting a good restart, and you're sort of resetting those muscles to get stronger from the right point, not get super conditioned and fit in a ineffective, inefficient stroke and technique. It's sort of, it'll cause you more time down the line to take a few steps back and build it up. Like with rehab and injury, if you don't do your exercises, you might progress really fast, but then down the line you have to take a few steps back again because you've now got a back tightness that you never addressed. So it all links into sort of doing it correctly and making sure you've got one chance to do this right. So be ready to do it right and adapt. That means sort of be open to a different approach and be open to change it up, and not be too fussed if you come up short a few days. Because some days you might come up really well. You might surprise yourself. You might do a PB 100 without even thinking about it. You know, it happens. So it's opening up your mind to that. So where am I going with this? Well, ultimately, got to get back racing, got to get back up to race pace. I think there's a few things I found out from swimming is getting back into it's not only tightening up my back, which is then almost not re-inflaming my hip, which it's not, because I've luckily been able to run, there's been no real niggles, but I've become hyper aware of it again. It's sort of almost, it makes sense that having not swum for 6 months, swimming actually could be a big part of why it never really settled down. It wouldn't have caused it, but why it hasn't settled down. And so it's sort of really that why I've been really focusing on that technique and really form of not swimming too tired and not really letting myself knacker myself in the pool. So hopefully we can work around that. I've had some ideas from my coach of sort of really making sure that just continue the cores engaged when I'm swimming, just like I would now when I'm running and on the bike, sort of make sure those hips are sitting under them. That's just a personal thing. And then build up. I've got my first triathlon in a few weeks. It's only 800 meter swim, quite refreshing in a pool, but I still want to be able to race pace it. I just don't want to have to hang on and then be tired after 800 meters. And then hopefully we can build up to that 1900 meter race pace from probably June, July onwards, if all goes well, and we go from there. Am I worried about it? I'm less worried than I was before we got back into swimming. I would say if you asked me in February or January, like I was crying over the fact I wasn't swimming. Then I realized I couldn't control it. Didn't really matter. I didn't live in Australia, so you've got to deal with what you've got. And then I've sort of come to practice is what it is if I can only swim 4 times a week right now, just in terms of not only holding form but also strength and also working with my hip, then that's what I've got to maximize that. In the meantime, I've just got to keep going and do my physio exercises, aka be able to do a push-up, because I'm not sure you need that for swimming, but I think it's more of a mental goal to get back to being able to do a push-up. I only could do 3 push-ups before I got injured, so 1, I think it's a good post-injury, and I should say post-crash, not injury. And then my physio wants me to learn how to do a pull-up, which is almost like a life goal for me. I don't think I'll be able to ever do a pull-up, but it's like my end bucket list goal is to do a pull-up. Forget triathlon, being able to do a pull-up. I honestly have such weak arms. I'm sort of like a wombat in the pool, really weak, useless, don't really do anything. That's where I'm going. That's the sort of the progress, the aim. Will it be hard? Yes. Will it get to me negatively over a few days? Probably yes, but that's all part of it. We're all in this together. And don't be afraid to do you. Don't be afraid to mix it up if you have to. Don't be afraid to not race that person in the pool because you don't want to, and not be afraid to come out short if you're just knackered and you realise it's doing nothing for you. So yeah, just have fun with it, and I hope this is giving you a bit of insight, not only a few tips, but also just a bit of reality that it does sometimes suck, but it also is sometimes quite fun. So yeah, if you like what you hear, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And obviously if you have any questions or any comments about this video or any other video, please hit the comments below and I'll be sure to reply. Until next time, see you then. I can do these and pump these out for hours. I can't even do 2 of this. Okay, yeah. I need to work on those. Cool. Know where I'm at. That's a physique update, everyone. Physique.